I moved to the mountains to escape the world, but the world followed me with a clipboard and a vendetta. My name is Daniel Harper, and what started as a quiet retreat in the Sierra Nevada became a battle for my home, my privacy, and my sanity. When the local HOA tried to seize control of my life, they didn't expect a fight. They sure didn't expect me to win. I wasn't chasing community potlucks or neighborhood watch meetings when I left San Diego. After 2 decades securing corporate high-rises, a bad fall on a rain-slicked roof ended my career. Nerve damage turned a temporary limp into a permanent retirement. So, I sold my condo, cut ties with clients, and bought a cabin in the Sierra, rugged, stone-walled place with a view that could hush your soul. No neighbors, no noise, just pines and silence. Most importantly, no HOA. I had my lawyer triple-check the deed. No dues, no bylaws, no nosy committees. Just me and my land. My property sat near a glossy development called Pinewood Estates. Driving past their gated entrance, I saw cookie-cutter mansions with fake stone facades and signs screaming residents only and private security. It reeked of overzealous busybodies with too much time and too many rules. I ignored them until late July, when I met her, Laura Mitchell, Pinewood Estates HOA president. I was reinforcing my gate with a manual lock when I heard heels clicking on gravel. Laura, mid-50s, with a sharp blonde bob and a smile that belonged in a real estate ad, approached holding a leather folder like it was a court summons. "Good afternoon, Mr. Harper," she said, voice syrupy. "I'm Laura, head of Pinewood Estates. We consider you part of our extended community since your land borders our access road." I tightened a bolt and gave her a flat look. "I'm not in your HOA, Ms. Mitchell. What do you want?" She flipped open her folder. "We're collecting emergency contact info and key sets for nearby homes' fire safety, earthquakes, you know. The mountains are unpredictable." She wanted 3 copies of my house keys for their security team. I laughed. "You're not getting my keys." "Nobody is." Her smile didn't budge, but her eyes hardened. "I'll note you as non-compliant for now, but I hope you reconsider. Safety's a shared responsibility." She clicked away, leaving me with a bad taste. A week later, a Navy envelope arrived from Pinewood Estates, containing a courtesy notice about community cohesion and a form for key holders. A sticky note read, "Still time to opt in." I burned it in my fireplace. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. October brought heavy snow, blanketing my driveway in silence. While shoveling, I spotted 4 men in neon vests down the hill, plowing what they called the North Access Corridor. Their vests read Pinewood Estates HOA. I marched over. "That's my private driveway," I said to the guy with the clipboard. He shrugged. "Ms. Mitchell authorized it as part of our buffer zone." 3 days later, a $450 bill for snow clearance arrived. I ignored it. Then came a past due notice, followed by a yellow tag on my gate. "Architectural violation, unauthorized fence design." My steel and wood fence offended their aesthetic standards. It was absurd. I wasn't part of their HOA. Then my internet cut out. My provider said Pinewood Estates had requested a service transfer under a new owner. I hadn't authorized it. After a heated visit to their office, I got my service back and locked my account. But the audacity trying to hijack my internet pushed me to send a cease and desist letter through my lawyer, Tom. No contact, no bills, no trespassing. Pinewood responded with a flyer under my truck's wiper. "Non-participation may delay emergency response." Subtle. The harassment escalated. A man photographed my cabin, claiming it was for a safety assessment. I caught him on video and warned him off. Then came a final notice for $700 in fake fees. I sent another cease and desist, copying the sheriff. I started documenting everything: flyers, photos, tire tracks. Something told me they weren't stopping. In November, a red envelope was taped to my door, marked urgent compliance request. It claimed I owed $2,800 for non-cooperation with their safety protocols. It cited fake fire codes and implied I'd consented by living nearby. I tore it up, laughing at their nerve. 2 days later, Laura returned with a man in sunglasses and a binder. "Mr. Harper," she said, "your non-compliance threatens our community. We need to inspect your home's entry points for fire safety." I cut her off. "You're on my land. Leave." She pressed. "You still haven't provided your key sets." I pointed to the gate. "Out." They left, but a newsletter soon arrived. warning that uncooperative neighbors could be deprioritized in emergencies. I filed a harassment notice with the sheriff. The real violation came when I returned from a supply run to find my gate tampered with, fresh tire tracks in the gravel, and my front door's keypad removed. A cheap deadbolt replaced it, and a new porch light wasn't mine. A sign read, Notice of Removal Unauthorized Resident per HOA Resolution PE 019. Entry prohibited. My utility box had a new lock. Fury rising, I called the sheriff. Deputy Carter arrived, took photos, and confirmed I owned the property. You're not the first they've targeted, he said. That night, I slept in my truck with a shotgun, using a hidden spare key to check the back door. It, too, was changed. The next morning, I filed for a restraining order and a criminal complaint for trespassing and vandalism. A surviving security camera showed Laura directing a man drilling my lock, timestamped while I was in town. I sent the footage to Tom, adding charges for illegal eviction. Deputy Carter called. We're treating this as criminal trespass and unauthorized occupation. You'll get access tomorrow. At dawn, Carter and a locksmith opened my door. Inside, my home was staged like a vacant rental. Furniture shifted, dishes gone, gear piled up, and a box labeled Harper Unclaimed Contents. A notice on the counter declared my occupancy terminated. The sheriff's crime unit photographed fingerprints and shoe prints. My laptop and drives were missing. They'd searched my house. Carter watched the footage of Laura and said, She's getting arrested. That evening, I reviewed more footage, Laura using a fob to open my gate, followed by men with tools. Tom called it a criminal conspiracy. I hired my old colleague, Nate, a cybersecurity expert, to recover deleted data. He found logs showing Pinewood hacked my system from their IP address. A hidden camera clip showed Laura saying, Mr. Harper chose isolation over safety. He forfeited his right to live here. We added this to our charges. Then Margaret Ellison, a former Pinewood resident, arrived with a folder of forged eviction notices matching mine, all citing Resolution P 019. She'd lost her home the same way. They forged my signature, she said. I scanned her documents and asked if she'd testify. They took my house, she said. I'll help stop them. At the preliminary hearing, Tom presented our evidence, videos, logs, and Margaret's affidavit. Judge Larson granted an injunction barring Pinewood from my property. Nate later mirrored Pinewood's server, uncovering a redirected assets folder listing 5 targeted homes, including mine and Margaret's, with fake violations and reassignment plans. We delivered this to the sheriff, who raided Pinewood's office, seizing computers and detaining 2 board members. One, Treasurer Mark Evans, confessed to a scheme where non-compliant homes were pressured until residents left, then reassigned for profit. Laura was arrested at a charity gala. Her mugshot splashed across local news. Pinewood's accounts were frozen, and the state audited the subdivision. Tom and I filed a civil suit for damages, joined by Margaret and other victims. The Wilsons, the Garcias, and Ellen Porter, a retiree now in Texas. At trial, Laura's defense claimed miscommunication, but our evidence forged maps, fake signatures, and Laura's seminar slides labeling my cabin non-compliant crushed them. The jury awarded $2.5 million, split among us. Laura got 10 years, no parole for 6, and a lifetime ban from HOA rolls. A year later, my cabin felt like home again. I upgraded security with drones and thermal cameras. Margaret and the others reclaimed their homes. Ellen bought a condo. Pinewood's HOA dissolved, replaced by county oversight. With my settlement, I started Harper Boundary Defense, a nonprofit for HOA abuse victims. I spoke at conferences, helping others fight back. One morning, I found a sign near my property line. Welcome back, Mr. Harper. Thanks for standing tall. I left it there, a quiet victory. My home was mine, and no one would take it again. What do you think about this story? Have you faced injustice or overreach in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss where you stand on fighting back against abuse and standing up for your rights. Your voice matters.